Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on Nationwide. We are live in Abuja. I'm Hauwa, Salihu, Adama. Today is World Cancer Day. And as the World Cancer Day is marked, emphasis is on raising awareness on cancer and encouraging people to prevent, detect, as well as search for new treatments. As part of this year's observance, health experts in Akwa Ibom State are calling for increased health education on lifestyle modification and positive health-seeking habits. Over now to Ifoma Ihoje.
Cancer burden continues to grow globally, exerting tremendous physical, emotional, and financial strain on individuals, families, and the health systems. Experts reiterate that early detection remains the key to combating the scourge of cancer.
The idea is to catch it early. When you get it early, you can stop it from causing morbidity and mortality in the patient.
While there are non-modifiable risk factors including genetics, age, and gender, some unhealthy lifestyles can also increase the risk of having cancer.
Smoking, alcohol, eating of red meat that exposes people to colorectal cancer.
Obesity also has a way or a part to play in making people develop some cancer, and then physical inactivity.
For cervical cancer, early sexual intercourse, previous history of sexually transmitted diseases.
As the global community marks the 2021 World Cancer Day with the theme I Am and I Will, emphasis is on the contributions of individuals towards achieving a cancer-free world.
Eat healthy, stay within the normal range of BMI, exercise regularly.
If you're a woman at the age of 21, you come to the hospital for pap smear. At the age of 40, 45, come to the hospital for mammography.
Together, all the actions matter. Join hands to end cancer. In Uyo, Ifoma Ihoji, NTA News.
Meanwhile, experts insist that adequate infrastructure to cater for the number of trained medical personnel in health facilities in Nigeria will help retain these professionals. They made a submission while discussing the 2021 World Cancer Day on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Over now to Daniel Aderi.
Is responsible for at least 72,000 deaths in Nigeria. Apart from this, the Nigerian National Cancer Control Plan says 102,000 new cancer cases are being diagnosed annually. These guests add that apart from collaboration between public and private sectors, research specific to Africans and Nigerians must urgently be embarked upon.
Since we have focused attention on the men for the first time, I'll admit, we will be able to get their buy-in to allow us to screen the women, diagnose the women more, and in fact treat them. Because as we all know, we have cultural issues. The women find it difficult to come to the hospital without the permission of their husband.
Concerning the policymakers, that is the parliamentarians, the funding of the primary health centers and the guarantee of their capacity to be able to undo the vaccination process is a very important priority for the policymakers in terms of funding.
Critical that we do research to try and understand how these different types of pollution that populations are exposed to might be putting them at risk, not only for lung cancer, but other cancers as well.
They also called for sanctions against acts or practices that lead to cancer, such as lifestyle, as well as attitudinal excesses.
We don't just have sanctions for anything that we do. So people get away with all sorts of things. And that is why it is catastrophic not to act on this kind of thing that we are talking about. If people are doing unholy things, they should be brought to books.
We want to see a situation whereby fewer people get cancers in Nigeria, fewer people die from it, and those that have the disease have a better quality of life when we sustain and continue with the advocacy.
They urged Nigerians to embrace the culture of regular health checkups, which in turn help with early detection of cancer. In Abuja, Daniel Adiriye, NTA News.
According to the World Health Organization, cancer is the second leading cause of death globally. While many have bowed in the fight against the deadly disease, a number have been fortunate to defeat it. In this next piece, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim shares the experience of a cancer survivor.
Of anyone given an expected time frame to live can only be best imagined than experienced. That was the reality of 45-year-old Lizzie, who doctors said had 3 months to live after she was diagnosed with cancer of the tonsil in 2002.
The after effect of chemo is even worse than the cancer, you know. So all my hair went off, I lost all my hair, I became very thin, and when they treated it wasn't going, so they said I have like 3 months to live. Of course, I was frightened. But there's this strong, instinct, this voice in me that keeps telling me that I will not die.
Lizzie identifies late detection and cost of treatment as one of the major causes of mortality. Today, as a survivor, she dedicates her life to the support of cancer patients through her foundation.
I want to appeal to our government to please open more cancer centers where people can do free screening.
As the world recommit to the betterment of the life of cancer patients with the World Cancer Day, the life of survivors like Lizzie tells the tales of hope that cancer is not a death sentence and that there is light at the end of the tunnel. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
By the way, Lizzie there has been a survivor for more than 18 years and still staying with cancer. I am and I will is the theme for this year's commemoration. Many Nigerians now have knowledge about cancer following constant enlightenment campaigns, but has this translated to a reduction in the prevalence of cancer in the country? Dr. To Agbide is an integrative specialist. He now joins me live in the studio. You're welcome, Doctor, to Nationwide.
My pleasure. Always nice to be here.
All right. What is the situation of cancer now as regards the prevalence rate in Nigeria?
Well, the rate is actually really escalating. And this is good to say that we must know, why do we have cancer? What causes cancer? In the past, when you ask people, even those specialists, they say nobody knows exactly what is the cause of cancer. But 90 to 95% causes of cancer now has been known and attributed to environmental, factors. Out of these, 35% is due to our diet. And also, there is a new paradigm based on the, research that has actually emerged. Gone are the days where we used to link cancer as predominantly a genetic disease. No, cancer is not a genetic disease. What we normally say is that, the environment actually loads the gun and it is the genes that pulls the trigger. So just 5% is due to, genetic, factors. This is to say that cancer is very complex. It is nebulous. It is multifactorial and multi-systemic failure of the body systems. It's not something that you can do. If you really want to know, cancer has actually undergone what we call 3 paradigms. The first paradigm was where we say, we claim not to know anything about, cancer. And we just define it as being proliferative of the abnormal cells, growth. Then we came to the phase where it was known as, It was known as the genetic, first, and that is what led to actually, led to the genome, studies. The genome study was a study that was actually launched by former President Clinton of the United States, where they map over the 25,000, different genomes or genes of a dead body. They came up conclusively that cancer is not due to genetic, malformation. We actually our bodies produces over 10,000 mutations in a day. If it was genetic, we will all be cancer all over. So the third phase is what you call the evolutionary trend of, cancer. That is our present understanding of, cancer.
Okay, now that we understand what this is all about and the likely causes.
Yes.
Any breakthroughs recently in the management and treatment of this condition?
Well, there have been quite a number of things, based on the understanding that it was genetic. Most of, the pharmaceutical drugs were actually developed on suppressing the genes or doing this. But now we've come up with what is known as the integrative management or the integrative management, approaches. With the integrative management approaches, you see that we've in as much as you're doing the conventional ways of doing chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and surgery. But because we say cancer is multifactorial and very complicated, we adopt an integrative approach in the management of cancer. You have to detoxify the body. You have to change, the diet. You have to use some of the specific cytotoxic, products like, vitamin C. But vitamin C, high doses is known to selectively kill only cancer cells. And then you have other things like B17. Then you have some of these, amino acids, proline, lysine. They selectively kill cancer cells. There are so many ways you can selectively kill only cancer cells and not kill the cancer cells and the normal cells now. This is also one of the trends that is in the way.
Okay, Dr. Agbide, we are living with what has become the new normal. That's the COVID-19.
Yes.
And you are an expert in integrative medicine.
Thank you.
Speak to somebody suffering or living with this condition at this moment. What would be your word to that person?
Well, the bottom line is that why do you first of all calm down with any disease, including cancer, and then COVID, is because the immune system is totally compromised. So this is to say that we must have to boost our immune system. Believe you me, if our immune system is up and running and we are protected against diseases. Even when that disease comes into the body can manage it more safely, and we cannot advance to intensive care unit or even die. So boosting immune system is the key.
Thank you very much. We truly appreciate your coming on Nationwide today.
My pleasure. Always nice.
And we are not done with Cancer Matters, as Hauwa is on standby in Lagos with more on the disturbing trend. Hauwa, you're on.
Hauwa, for 3 years now, World Cancer Day has maintained the same theme: I am and I will. This is to re-echo individuals' power and encourage personal commitment in the fight against the disease. As the world commemorates Cancer Day, Hinginu John Adams examines ways of achieving success in the war.
Though COVID-19 has dominated the health sector for a while, medical experts are also giving other elements attention. Cancer is one of such that has continued to affect and kill many, as it maintains the second position as cause of death globally. Statistics by the World Health Organization reveals that in 2018, about 9.6 million deaths were recorded in all countries across the globe as a result of cancer, while 17 people are said to die every minute. The alarming figures is why much emphasis has been placed on awareness campaign.
Most cancers are not, hereditary. About 85% of cancer are not hereditary. They are linked to behavioral factors and environmental factors.
This year's World Cancer Day is calling for commitment to reach the target of reducing the number of premature deaths from cancer and non-communicable diseases by 1/3 by 2030.
The best cure to cancer is prevention. In fact, all diseases, some of the commonest activities that predispose somebody to having cancer: smoking, cigarettes, drinking alcohol, exposure to radiation as in X-rays, unprotected exposure.
Recognizing the unique challenges the world is confronted with by COVID-19, the 2021 World Cancer Day is dedicated to the courage and achievement of people living with cancer and their families, as well as the health providers. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Incessant cult-related attacks and clashes have resulted in needless loss of life and destruction of property in recent times. The quest to forestall this has necessitated various security measures, but Lagos residents say a strong legislation is required to create deterrence across the metropolis. Musa Toliat in this report takes a look at recent efforts made by Lagos State Government and the state legislature to express zero tolerance for cultism in Lagos.
They unleash mayhem and compromise public peace as cultists continue to put security agents on their toes with their nefarious activities in the state. Although several arrests have been made, deterrence is at its lowest ebb. This reaction by the public stems from the recent cultism bill passed into law by the Lagos House of Assembly.
It has become a way of life, and we need to put a fight against it. And the step taken by the House of Assembly in terms of penalizing those who are involved in cultism and those who are aiding and abetting cultism is in order.
The law is good because cultism should not be encouraged in our country.
Section 3 of the law does not only places outright ban on activities of cultists and related illegal societies, it also prescribes different jail terms for different involvement in cultism. Membership of a cult group attracts 21 years imprisonment, while a 15-year jail term awaits anyone who aids and abets cultism in form of allowing unlawful gathering in one's premises. A 15-year jail term also applies to anyone who intimidates or compels people to join a cult group.
That a bill for a law to provide for the prohibition of unlawful societies and cultism in Lagos State and for other connected purposes be passed into law. All in favor say aye. Those against no, the ayes have it.
The law describes society as unlawful if its members carry out illegal and destructive activities contrary to safety and peace of the public. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Nationwide. The news will be back shortly after this timeout. Don't go away.
Hello, I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire. Teacher,
Ajebo na better school for last gidi. Not be all this on a rugged school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
Second, it's called Oja Village. Kadesi. We know happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders too. Hey, we are trying, shall sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was interested in that position?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I mean, that's why I talk with that now. Not for me. Not for me because of Pamio.
Abuja, The Evolution and Development of a Capital City is an instructive and incisive book that chronicles how the idea of a new federal capital territory was born and situates the vision of the founding fathers while capturing the key declarations, broadcasts, and physical planning activities. This must-read book highlights the policy thrust and major contributions of successive administrations to the development of Abuja on the period August 1998 to May 2019, as well as showcasing FCT tourism potentials and other landmarks. Join the author, Dr. Jumai Amadu, as this book is presented to the public on the 9th of February 2021, time 11 a.m. Venue, Executive Hall, Abuja International Conference Center. Special guests of honor, the Honorable Minister of the FCT, Malam Mohammed Musa Bello, and the Honorable Minister of State, FCT, Hajia Ramatu Tijani Aliu. Chairman of the occasion, Phillips Tanimu Aduda, Senator representing the FCT. Planning Committee, announcer.
Edition of TV Guide is out with special focus on the game changer, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Broadcasting in a digital economy, Maxwell Lobo gives an insight. This edition also features Nancy Naji of AIT, a name synonymous with business. Meet the NCDC boss, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu. TV Guide, your indispensable companion, also x-rays the relevance of social media in the modern society. Meet some TV professionals who have impacted their spaces and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Arsenal will seek revenge against Aston Villa after their loss to their opponents at the Emirates Stadium last time out. Will they succeed, or will Villa do the double over the Gunners this season? Find out this Saturday when Aston Villa welcome Arsenal to Villa Park on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA network from 1 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Babai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Go.com.
Thanks for rejoining us. It's nationwide. The Northern Governors Forum says it is concerned by lingering reports that herdsmen belonging to a particular ethnic group are being targeted in some parts of the southeast and southwest, leading to loss of lives and property. A statement by the chairman of the forum and governor of Plateau State, Simon Bakola Long, says, while the forum concedes to the rights of Nigerians to reside wherever they so desire, without molestation or discrimination, it also emphasizes that criminal elements should be exposed and made to face the law rather than being used to defame any particular ethnic group or for any crime, as that will portend danger to peaceful coexistence and national unity. Governor Lalong, while calling for calm, urges leaders across political, ethnic, religious and community lines to avoid utterances and actions that further fan the embers of distrust, hate and retaliation, while security agencies must equally be firm and protect law-abiding citizens against threat to their lives and property, irrespective of ethnic and other affiliations. Towards sustaining peaceful coexistence in Kano State, the State Executive Council has banned an Islamic cleric, Abdul Jabbar Nasiru Kabara, from preaching over alleged inciting comments. This was part of resolutions adopted at the end of the meeting presided over by Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Abdullahi Mustafa has more.
The weekly meeting of Kano State Executive Council traditionally deliberates on memoranda from ministries, departments and agencies on various development issues. This week's session was dominated by security issues emanating from alleged inciting comments by one Abdul Jabbar Nasir Kabara. The said comments by the preacher elicited condemnations and security threats in the last few days. After hours of deliberation, the council approved, among other resolutions, immediate closure of the Clerics Mosque, Center and facility in Gwale area of Kano Metropolis. He was also directed by the council to discontinue such preachings and unguarded utterances pending the outcome of an ongoing investigation by security agencies.
The council also directed all radio stations and social media platforms operating in the state to refrain from broadcasting the sermons and teachings of Abdul Jabbar in the interest of peace.
The measure, he stated, is to avert social tension and sectarian violence in the state. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And Adebola in Ibadan has the next set of reports. Hello, Adebola.
Hauwa, good to see you. Welcome to Ibadan. Normalcy has started to return to Ibarapa axis, Ibadan Metropolis and other parts of Oyo State, with security agencies working for peace and security of the state. Rafia Animashan Badmos has more.
In tackling kidnapping, banditry, changes in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde has directed the deployment of additional 200 members of Amotekun Corps to Ibarapa to forestall trouble in the community. Security agencies in the state noted that there is need for synergy of all outfits with a mission to rid the forest of criminally minded individuals disturbing the peace of the state.
What the state is required of is to support these agencies as much as possible and to strengthen the local initiative we have.
We've arrested 6 people over the incidents. They're being under investigation and will soon be taken to court. Communicate, talk to the youth leaders, talk to the traders, talk to the headers, to the farmers. There's a calm in the community through joint efforts of all the security agencies.
Governor Seyi Makinde, however, charged Oyo Police Command to arrest persons stoking ethnic tension in the state and treat them as criminals. In Ibadan, Rafia Animashan Badmos, NTA News.
The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons have distributed food and non-food items to various groups of people in Ile-Ife, Osun State. Kayode Oladoshi reports that the step is part of the federal government's effort to assist the vulnerable in the society.
Gathering in their numbers, representatives of various groups at the courtyard of the Palace of Oni of Ife were glad to receive the relief materials, which included bags of rice, beans, gari, maize, and other household utensils. The act, which was a measure to meet up with immediate needs of the less privileged in the society by the federal government, created a moment of joy for selected vulnerable groups by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons.
We really appreciate federal government for what they do, and we pray that God will encourage them and give them strength to continue doing this thing.
I know wherever this one may go, it will relieve them a bit.
Urging the beneficiaries to make good use of the items, the Federal Commissioner, Bashir Gaba, represented, affirmed that the Buhari-led administration is committed to the improvement of lives of the citizens.
The whole idea is to ensure that every geopolitical zone in the country receives some form of intervention.
One of the core mandates of the National Commission for Refugees, migrant and internally displaced persons is to provide succor to the people or group of people affected by any form of disasters. From Ile-Ife, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
Reports just reaching us indicates that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the extension of the tenure of Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu for a period of 3 months. Retired Minister of Police Affairs Mohammed Magari Diangi announced this while briefing journalists after an audience with the President. The minister used the opportunity to respond to the reports in the social media on appointment of the new Inspector General of Police. Moving on, the Nigeria Customs Services says it has recorded remarkable achievements in its anti-smuggling crusade despite partial border closure. The controller Kwara Area Command Hussaini Ahmed affirmed this while giving a scorecard of the command in the year 2020. Olajide Bello has details.
The year 2020 for Nigeria and indeed the world over was quite challenging, with the coronavirus pandemic ravaging virtually all sectors of the economy. The Nigeria Customs Service Kwara Area Command also had its fair share, but through the command's resilience and doggedness, it was able to surmount challenges posed by the pandemic through its drive to increase the nation's economy against all odds. In the year under review, the anti-smuggling operations of the command recorded a total of 84 seizures with duty pay value of over 300 million as against 14 seizures in 2019.
I want to further reiterate my commitment to ensuring that smuggling business becomes unattractive through the vigorous community and public enlightenment, sensitization on the dangers of smuggling and its impact on economy and national security.
The command says those who still engage in illicit business of smuggling are advised to desist or face the full wrath of the law.
We shall ensure that maximum revenue collection is realized, blockage of revenue leakages without compromising national interest and security of the nation.
The Nigeria Customs Service Kwara Area Command says its interagency collaboration is yielding positive results, and it will not relent until it rids Kwara State totally of smuggling activities. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Nationwide continues with Hauwa in Abuja.
Very well, Adebola. Thank you. Newly deployed Commissioner of Police Cross River State, Sikiru Akonde, has pledged to ensure the security of lives and property of residents in the state. This was during a visit by the management of NTA Calabar to the Commissioner of Police as a way of seeking collaboration for mutual benefits. Cecilia Julius has more.
The management's visit to the Cross River State Commissioner of Police is to seek collaboration with the police force in terms of security and development of content for transmission and for the improvement of safety at NTA Calabar.
One of our programs, security workshops, which we televise it and we need a lot of content from you in terms of personnel, in terms of input and experience to make the program much more better so that everybody will be security conscious and know the value of security.
The commissioner therefore affirmed his readiness to partner with the station to ensure that no harm is henceforth inflicted on the facility, which he noted is just coming back after the NSAS attack.
They should have that belief that no fly will come near them again now that we are here. I am assuring you we'll do everything humanly possible to protect everything that is of federal government interest and state government interest.
A plaque was presented to the NTA Calabar to mark the visit. In Calabar, Cecilia Julius, NTA News.
We now take you to Benue, where Hem Bafan is on standby in Makudi.
Welcome to Makudi. Experts have again reiterated a healthy lifestyle and regular screening as key to prevent the growth of cancer cells in parts of the body as Nigerians join the globe to mark World Cancer Day. Correspondent Simbiat Abaji examines the prevalent rate of cancer in Benue State.
World Cancer Day aims at saving lives of preventable deaths each year by raising awareness and educating members of the public about cancer-related issues. Despite the high mortality rate of cancers, many people do not avail themselves of cancer screening. This they attribute to insufficient screening centers and the high
because getting a center is a major issue. I learned that the screening is expensive. It's not under most you die when you have cancer. I've gone for cancer screening for the first time. This is the second time.
Medical experts say that breast and cervical cancers are most prevalent in Benue State and emphasize the need for constant screening as early detection could save many lives.
Especially here in Benue State, breast cancer and cervical cancer, because these are the two most common cancers affecting women in Nigeria and also in Benue State. And in spite of that, you know, cervical cancer is also the commonest cause of death in women.
For cervical cancer screening, women should go for it after 3 years of having a normal test.
The Medical Women Association of Nigeria Benue State chapter, on their part, organized free cervical and breast cancer screening at the Benue State University Teaching Hospital with the theme, I Am and I Will. In Makudi, Simbiat Agbaji, NTA News.
Governor Samuel Otom has appreciated God and Benue people for their prayers during his isolation for treatment of COVID-19. Charles Abba reports that the governor also banned campaigns by political appointees towards 2023 elections.
Governor Samuel Otom's appreciation to God and the people of Benue State for their concern over his positive status of COVID-19 marks his first official appearance after his treatment and eventual certification of being negative for the virus.
On my own, I decided to go for tests for COVID-19 after a series of my aides were positive. And unfortunately, I was positive. And I decided to isolate myself. And by the grace of God, when a repeat test was done after my medication, I was negative.
In another development, the governor expressed worry over a campaign embarked on by some political appointees and his aides seeking various elective positions in 2023.
As from today, no member of Benue State Executive Committee or any appointee of government is allowed to contest or talk about contesting or anchor campaign for any other person for 2023. If you must do that, I will demand a resignation letter from you.
The governor also remarked that as Benue clocks 45, more needs to be done in addition to whatever achievements in the past to take the state to the promised land. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
The Minister for Special Duties and Intergovernment Affairs, Senator George Akome, says the social investment program and infrastructural development by the current administration can only be sustained when people keep faith with All Progressive Congress, APC. The minister made this known during a stakeholders meeting of the party held in Makudi preparatory to the commencement of the registration and revalidation exercise, Bemhanya reports.
The registration and revalidation exercise is aimed at resolving conflicts within the party and preparing it ahead of Congresses and the 2023 general elections. The Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senator George Akome, while appreciating the people for keeping faith with the party, assured them that the exercise would be transparent and fair to all. He called on the Benue people to turn up en masse for the exercise and continue to support the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration because of its social investment programs and infrastructural development across the country.
The APC is not just a huge party, the biggest in Africa, but the truth is that under the watch of the president, initiatives and programs have been put in place for the most unprecedented manner. Never in the history of this country has a government devoted so much resources for the benefit of the people at very, very minimum cost.
Other party stalwarts commended the president for massive road projects and the siting of 2 federal tertiary institutions in the state, among others. The registration and revalidation exercise is expected to last 1 week. In Makudi, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
That's it from Makudi. Is over to Hauwa in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Very well. Thank you, and we will now take some messages. Nationwide returns shortly.
Youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Life can be very eventful. We curiously expect things to happen, even when we don't know what. Our human nature makes us like and repost lots of information. Some are unverified, inciting anger and hate. Sometimes innocently, other times the urge to break it first. This, in most cases, has caused destruction in many nations.
Arsenal will seek revenge against Aston Villa after their loss to their opponents at the Emirates Stadium last time out. Will they succeed, or will Villa do the double over the Gunners this season? Find out this Saturday when Aston Villa welcome Arsenal to Villa Park on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA network from 1 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Babai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Go.com.
Thanks for rejoining us. It's still nationwide. A peace deal has been signed by conflicting interest groups in the Niger Delta who were involved in the exchange of blows that went viral on social media during the recent House of Representatives public hearing on the petroleum industry bill. Ikechukwu Ndukwe reports that the office of the senior special advisor to the president on Niger Delta affairs championed the peace process initiative.
This ugly scenario played out last week at the House of Representatives public hearing on PIB. The parties involved are now here to sort out their differences and make peace to forge ahead.
Niger Delta region is the breadwinner of this country, at least 95% of the economy. So, Mr. President will be happy to see that we speak with one voice and that we embrace one another. To err is human, to forgive is divine.
We have agreed and will come together for the purpose of
defending the interest of the entire community. Now, last week, there was an unfortunate incident which led to some fisticuffs. So, on behalf of the Niger Deltans and on your behalf, I apologize to the National Assembly. I apologize to Nigeria and Nigerians for that not too good a show.
With the new spirit of peace and oneness, the group resolved that 10% royalties should be paid as legal entitlement to oil host communities. They are also asking for a commission of oil host communities to be set up with board members drawn from oil host communities, as well as proper funding of NDDC, among other resolutions. Ike Chukundukwe, NTA News.
And it's the turn of Obehi in Benin with more reports on Nationwide.
Many thanks, Hauwa, for joining us in Benin. Connecting the rural areas by road and improving the living standards of the people remain a focal point of the federal government's development agenda. Minister of State, Budget and National Planning, Clem Agba, while inspecting some federal roads in Ovia North East local government area of Edo State, restated the need to consolidate on efforts to transform the grassroots. Paul Omokago tells us more.
The people were spot on in appreciating the government for linking their communities by road. After several years of uncertainty, the 4.5-kilometer asphalt road at Igo Ipala and the 17-kilometer stretch to Ikoro community will surely make life easier for the people.
For years, we have been suffering for this road, and I thank God that God used a man to help us to do this road.
Since 1958, we've been expecting this to happen, and that is happening during our time. It's a thing of joy.
I want to government say thank you for the road when the airports they do.
The minister, who had an on-the-spot assessment of the project, says they are part of the 377 rural road projects across 266 communities in the country. The need to develop agro-based industries, he underscored, is a major driving force behind the government's initiative.
I think the contractors are doing a very good job, and I'm happy that the president committed to rural road project. I believe that it will meet its objective. It will also help to stimulate the economy.
All the projects are in agro corridors and are expected to boost socio-economic development of the rural areas. In Benin, Paul Mukago, NTA News.
The federal government's efforts at boosting food production are beginning to yield positive results as farmers and food processors in Ondo State now have access to best practices in mechanism agriculture and specialized extension services aimed at enhancing food security. This is coming at the official launch of the zonal office of the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization in Akure. Tony Battery reports.
The essence of the establishment of the field office in Ondo State is to further expose farmers and stakeholders to various indigenous technologies which will improve timeliness of operation, increase productivity and socio-economy of farmers.
Most of the equipment may be higher in price, but the government can subsidize it. When the government purchases for them and then give them a subsidized rate so that they can be able to cope.
Ondo State government says the establishment of 2,000 hectares of land at Ijagbere for cocoa production and the ongoing egg powder production at Imure, both in our local government area of the state, are aimed at boosting local food production.
Our administrations are continuing to improve infrastructural facilities serving agriculture, such as good road network and agricultural equipment, to make it easier for the farmers to reach out and be reached.
Participants at the event agreed that agricultural mechanization is the best way to increase productivity and attract young people to agriculture.
We limit the hazard of farming on the farmers with all this equipment we are seeing.
There was an exhibition for the demonstration and promotion of agricultural mechanization facilities for yam, rice, maize, cassava, and oil palm processing machines in Akure. Toyin Batire, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Hauwa in Abuja.
Sure, Bay. Thank you very much. And a report just in says President Muhammadu Buhari has appointed the immediate past service chiefs as non-career ambassadors designate. They are General Abayomi Oloni Shakin, retired, Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai, retired, Air Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, retired, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, as well as Air Vice Marshal Mohammed Usman. Their names have been forwarded to the National Assembly. One person has died and businesses valued at billions of naira raised over the night following a fire outbreak at the 3rd Avenue Market in Gwarimpa Housing Estate, Abuja. Eyewitness accounts attributed the cause of the fire to power surge following restoration of power to the market. Ilyasu Onoto Yakubu is on standby.
Faces of agony, despair and loss, all in reaction to the wanton destruction occasioned by a slight spark in the dead of the night. The fire stretches as far as the eye could see. The destruction here cannot be described by words. The destruction stretched through the length of the market. Eyewitnesses say the fire started from a bacha around the entrance into the market when power was restored around 1 to 2 a.m. As a result, a life was lost to the inferno, even as FCT firemen responded to distress calls put to them.
The fire must have engulfed a lot of places before they come back. That's one of the very big problems that make the fire to go far beyond this thing, beyond quenchable.
Some people they say na electric from that place. Me I know sure say na electric. Just this thing may we leave everything for God.
The market we lost billions of naira here. But at least I get a loss up to 1.something million.
Deputy Director Operations of the FCT Fire Service, Sani Saidu, identified the windy nature of the Hamatan weather in contributing to the fast and widespread of the fire.
The highly constrained issue was that it has only one manageable road that you can now manage to enter and then manage to come. Then the fire has blocked it.
Apart from the market, some buildings at the Defense College quarters, which shares boundary with the market, were also affected by the raging fire. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
And from Abuja, we take you to Cross River State, where residents of the Ikot Nkebri community in Calabar municipality, who have been living in fear for their lives and property due to gully erosion sites around the area, have now joyfully returned to their homes. Arika FEB, who was at the erosion site, where 4 out of the 5 fingers have been completed, reports that the intervention is from the Cross River State government and the World Bank.
Residents of Ikot Nkebri community in Calabar municipality have been smiling since men and materials moved to the area for the rescue. Today, their lives are gradually returning as the gully erosion project is near 80% completion. They are celebrating the intervention work by the World Bank and the Cross River State governments.
Proud to see their intervention, and I appreciate it much.
We're so happy. We thank Almighty God that has touched government to come here and to rescue us.
The disaster makes us homeless. So many youth cannot do anything, cannot have where to stay.
Site engineer George Brown promises to deliver before the rainy season sets in.
They've promised to complete this by the end of this current dry season, which is about March, April. And we know that we are constantly monitoring this process.
Residents of Ikot Nkebri community, a suburb area, can now sleep with their eyes properly closed. In Calabar, Erika Ivy, NTA News.
And sports is next with Kene Imam-Bodike.
A Zone qualifying tournament for the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2021 kicks off on Friday, with hosts Senegal taking on Gambia in the opener before the game against Mauritania in Group A. Group B has Mali, Sierra Leone and Guinea-Bissau in contention. Top two teams from each group qualify to the semi-finals, with the two finalists to represent the Western Zone A in the final phase of the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. In tennis, Australian Open boss Craig Tiley says he is absolutely confident the Grand Slam will serve off as planned on Monday, despite 160 players waiting for coronavirus tests. A total of 507 people connected to the event were told to isolate by Melbourne health officials after a hotel worker tested positive. The warm-up events, which are all taking place at Melbourne Park, will resume on Friday, while the draws have also been shifted to Friday. Elsewhere, the head of the Tokyo Olympics Organizing Committee, Yoshiro Mori, has apologized for making inappropriate remarks about women after calls for his resignation. Mori retracted the comments but said he was not planning to stand down. With sports update, Tamara Ibiwe, NTA News.
Thank you for watching Nationwide today. That was actually Sports Update by Tamara Ebiwe. Remember to stand against